Hey, y'all. Welcome back to a UFC Fight Night from Rod's Roller Coaster. Tonight, I'm going to go by the pseudonym Toothless because I don't have any teeth. No fight to blame it on. Simply had to have my implants done, and in the process, I have no teeth. So you're going to get what you get as far as my enunciation, pronunciation, maybe a little bit of spit on the side. Anyway, good card tonight. Good card. Some of the fights, but other fights, I've got a personal interest in them. Hopefully, I can get you pumped up. The fights are about to kick off, so let's get into it. Starting off at 185, you got Abdul Malik versus Todorovic. Now, okay, Todorovic, injuries, year and a half kind of layoff, bad knee, questionable chin. He's been knocked out a number of times, I think, maybe even three times out of his last five fights, something like that. He does have an ability to wrestle, but will he have an opportunity? Because Abdul Malik's undefeated. He's a heavy favorite and he's a powerful dude, man. He is badass. I don't know about his wrestling. Can't really tell you much about it other than that. Do know enough to say this guy is dangerous. And for me, I'm going to go with Malik. He's a favorite tonight. I think Todorovic, unfortunately, is at that part of his career where injuries may be catching up to him. Still, you never know. Let's move on. Let's go into 115s with the ladies. And this is great because we've got a couple of people that I think have some interesting stylistic matchups. Neither one of them necessarily is a barn burner to start off. However, Jillian Robertson is the favorite. I am a fan because I got a chance to meet Jillian after a fight in Vegas with my family a couple of years ago. And not only did I see her knock the shit out of somebody in the ring, but within an hour, she was up, mixing it up and being really entertaining and polite and super nice to me, really delightful. Um, I like her because her style, it's slow and it's calculated. I don't know why the camera keeps doing that. I think I must be doing something with my elbow. She's like a hunter. She's still young, in my opinion, and she's hungry. She's very calculated. I think Jillian really knows her own game. She knows her strengths, and that makes her solid. She's a really good grappler. Luana Pinheiro, I don't know that much about her except that she's powerful. She's a more active fighter. You know, she definitely has more strikes, I would say, on average than Jillian in any of her fights. Her cardio maybe just a little bit questionable because I think she, from what clips I watched of her, she seems to sag a little bit after a couple rounds. Um, Takedowns. I don't know. Let's see who gets takedowns on this one. The other thing I've got to tell you, where I'm going to back up real quick. One of the intangibles that I look for in a fighter is how good is their nickname. I'm taking Abdul Malik because Todorovic's nickname is Thunder. You know, who would pick a guy based on just a lot of noise? I'm going with power. I like Jillian Robertson. She's also the favorite. I'm going to take her because look at that nickname, the Savage, you know? Next, we're going over to 135s. We got Gaston Bolanos versus Cortavius Romeus. Cortavius is the favorite. The name of Gaston's, I don't know, Dream Killer doesn't really do much for me. You know, this fight, I have to say, from what little I know about these fighters, I'm trying to peek a little bit, but I think it's a pick 'em. I'm not exactly sure how to jack this card up, or rather this fight up, to make this a real feature of the card. I hope we get a good fight out of this one. I'm not going with Dream Killer. I'm going to stick with the favorite, Cortavius Romeus. Jumping back up to 185s. And this is where I think it gets pretty interesting. You know, Gerald Meerschaert versus Reiner de Ritter. Meerschaert's an old dog in the sense that he's got 50 plus fights. You know, he's a vet. He's got that old man strength. Got that old man stamina too, and I think that really may help him. He's a finisher. Mearshart is not just a gatekeeper, so don't sleep on this cat. You know, watch what he does. He may take this into longer rounds, which may end up being against DeRitter. Now, DeRitter, I mean, just looking at his record, the guy's a beast, young up and comer, youngish. He's 17-2. He's tall, so he's got some reach on Mearshart. I think maybe he has a pretty solid grapple and grappling and ground game that could really give Mearshart some problems. He's a solid striker, and even though Mearshart is not the favorite, I'm just not sure how to call this one. But I think it may be time for a changing of the guard, and I say De Ritter is going to take this one. Going on to the headliner, the card. Here we go. We got Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. How can you not like a guy who has won his last 5 fights in a row, something like that? No, he hasn't lost in 5 years. How is it? I'm trying to think of the numbers. Plus, he's got that beautiful nickname, Nightmare. Reminds me of another fighter from years ago. Um, and he literally kicked the crap out of the Leech in his last fight with those leg kicks. He's not a big volume guy, but my God, does he have some power in that left hand? So if he finds a home for that left hand a couple times, I think that may be all it takes. Um, Magny, he lost in the first round to Morales in his last fight. I don't know if age is catching up with him. He may have some stamina. I just get the vibe that in this time in his career, I'm not sure how quick you bounce back or if something about getting knocked out in the first round is something to really be concerned about that carries into the next fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I'm not so sure that we're going to see any upsets, especially with Prates being, God, man, such a huge underdog, almost 3-1 or something like that. I'm going to go with Prates because I've seen him fight bad, scary man, and seems to be a decent guy from any of the post-fight interviews. So there you have it. We got, I'm sorry, Abdul Malik. We've got Robertson, the Savage, Pick'em with Romeus and Bolanos. Mearshart versus De Ritter. Gonna go with De Ritter. And then definitely I'm gonna hang with Nightmare. I think Pratis is gonna put Magny away. Might even be early, second round. Y'all have a good time tonight. Thank you for dropping into Toothless Elrod's roller coaster and UFC fight previews. I better sign off so you guys can get to the fight. Thank you.